are live. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch the show. Today we're going to be covering the latest on Caleb Harris. Let me pull his stuff up real quick here. Oops. There he is. Caleb Harris, 21 years old, went missing on March 4th out of Corpis Christi, Texas. Now it's been missing just over a month. There hasn't been a lot of updates in this case. It's like he just... there's some video evidence of him a few hours before walking his this new dog that they had got. And he had ordered some food, and he was waiting on that. And then he took this Snapchat photo at around 3 a.m. And then all of a sudden, poof, he's gone. No evidence of foul play where he went missing. He was just yards from his house or from the entrance to his apartment complex where he supposedly took this last photo and then just disappeared. It was a really foggy night, which is interesting. And there's also apparently a guy that was out there. There was an accident, and I'm assuming due to the fog possibly, because the fog was really bad that night. And he takes a video, and it's a very short video, but supposedly he's not far from where Caleb went missing. And supposedly this accident took place kind of around the time frame that he went missing. I don't think it shows a lot, but it is interesting, and I'll show the video if you haven't seen it. Now, this isn't nothing new. This came out like a couple weeks ago, but we will play it if you haven't seen it, because we haven't covered his case for, I think it's been a couple weeks now. But his father was on Jennifer Coffindaffer. She's got a new YouTube channel, and he was on, I think, yesterday or the day before with his other friend. I can't think of his name at the moment. Tobin or something like that. And anyway, they were saying they couldn't tell the details, but they said that there was new possible leads. Now, of course, they couldn't talk about them because that's just kind of how it goes. But the conversation they get into could kind of give us some ideas of maybe, depending on the leads, if they're, legit or not. But we'll get into that interview and stuff if you haven't heard that. We'll go through the whole timeline if you haven't heard of this case. And it's just a wild case. He is, yeah, I'm sure he's, you're talking about me, right? No, I'm just kidding. Caleb Harris, yeah, he seems like he'd be a heartbreaker. Just Joe, good to see you. Thank you for becoming a member. Love the intro music. Appreciate it. I would shout everybody out. Be here all morning or all afternoon. Thank you guys so much for the support. Quickly, two things before we get into Caleb. We always like to give back by featuring missing people along with covering missing people. And today we got Corey Wolf. From what I understand, he's still missing. Let me know in chat if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, he's still missing. Went missing March 21st, so that's, a little over 2 weeks now. So, yeah, just a little over 2 weeks. Out of Payson, Arizona. Excuse me. 15 years old, 110 pounds, 5'6", dark blonde hair, brown eyes, wearing gray sweatpants and a t-shirt. He went missing, or he left his home early in the morning at 4 a.m. on March 21st. He's in need of medication and struggles with substance abuse. He does not have his phone with him, but in the notes it said he had contacted a few friends recently. So I think that's at least a good sign that this could have a happy ending, and maybe I don't know if it's a runaway situation or... Yeah, so if you have any information, he went missing again out of Payson, Arizona. If you have any information, you can call 602-732-0081. You got it in chat there. And then one other thing before we get going, I just want to mention this because it's getting close. A week from today, or a week from yesterday, we're going to go out for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. Next weekend, April 13th and April 14th, looking for Aiden Clune. He disappeared 2 years ago in April of 2022 in Wells, Nevada. That's kind of close to the border of Nevada and Utah. He had pulled his truck over to the side of the freeway, and he was kind of suffering from some mental health condition, and sadly took off into a mountain range, and they tracked him for miles, but unfortunately lost his trail and has not been seen since. It's possible that he's still out there, and there's also other possibilities that he may have made it out, but still there has been no sign of him since him leaving, sadly. We are going out there next weekend. Again, we did do a fundraiser for the drone. We got the drone. Thank you guys so much. And I will do a special video just before, right after, for everybody that donated. But again, we are still accepting donations. I got to get some new tires, and I'm going to be speaking with his mother after the show because we've got to kind of set up a game plan for that search. But anyway, I wouldn't be able to do those searches if it wasn't for you guys taking the time to watch the videos, like, and subscribe. So I really appreciate it. All right, let's get going with Caleb Harris. Let me just pull this over. So I'm going to play just a small clip of Coffin Daffer's interview at the beginning where they kind of talk about these new updates. Obviously, they don't go into details about them, but we'll kind of go across the bridge after we listen to the first part of this. And then there's also been, I didn't even know there was a dating app or a Reddit dating site. Let me know in the chat if you've heard of a Reddit dating. I've never heard of that. Apparently, they believe it's possible that he may have been on this site and was trying to meet up with somebody, and then maybe he got kidnapped or something like that. This is kind of something that's a little bit newer information. I don't know if that relates to these possible leads that they're going to talk about in this interview, or if this is something different. But we will also talk about that as well.
And it was shared confidentially between law enforcement and Randy and Tony. And that's where it has to stay. It has to stay there because there's nothing more important than the sanctity of the investigation and the hope that Caleb is found and found alive. So for this reason, I can give you the good news that there is a development, and then the bad news that it can't be shared. But just so you know that law enforcement is actively working.
So that interview was 2 days ago, so I don't know what has developed from that. They do talk about, because the father was interviewed a couple days before that. He was on News Nation and said, yeah, that they had raised the reward. I think was it up to at least 50 grand now, if not more, and said that they were getting even more tips, but a lot of them, sadly, was some people just trying, see how they could help. Some tips were just, I wouldn't say not credible, but just, they just didn't lead anywhere. But then 2 days after that is when this interview where they talk about that there's new developments. And then there's this whole Reddit dating app thing. And like I said, I don't know if it's connected or not, but it is kind of interesting timing. Hope ain't fair. I love Reddit, but dating, no. Yeah, it's wild. I've never done the dating app stuff, so, but Reddit dating, that's new to me. So, we'll just kind of recap for anybody that's not familiar with his case. So there was a lot of stuff that happened just before he went missing. And this is the timeline that we had early on. It's changed a little bit. For the most part, most of this is still the right stuff. But on March 4th, leading up to close to midnight, 11:53, he sends a picture. So he has two other roommates. It's like a college, not that apartment complex. I think it's a lot for college students. And here's the other timeline that his father put out, or law enforcement, I guess it says police department. Most of it's the same. Instead of putting 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. on the video that we'll see with him walking with his friends with the dog, I think they've narrowed it down to 12:56. And then the other thing is at 2:20 is when he ordered the Uber Eats, which is kind of interesting because that's exactly an hour from when it would arrive. But the rest is pretty much the same, so we'll go back to the one I have, and we'll just kind of go down the list here. So this is one of the Snapchats, as you can see, 11:53, where they've got this dog named Jenny, where he says, like Forrest Gump, is the chillest dog ever. Not one peep yet. It's been 2 hours since it's been here, so clearly they just got it. It's eaten some eggs and sat in me, and I'm assuming that's the two friends' laps. Then we have, it says 1 a.m., but I guess now they have it at 12:56 is the video. And so this is some video of the actual apartment complex, which is Cottages of Corpis Christi. Apparently, I believe this is his apartment complex. So this would be where they would walk the dog. So they would have came out and they would have walked this way. And then we'll also look at an overview of show you where his apartment's fairly close to the entrance of this place, it looks like. But this blue apartment that they're kind of walking towards is the one that had the door cam on it. And so here now we're looking at it basically as if we were walking towards the camera. There's some surveillance of him and his friends. They've got their dog, they're walking. Apparently, they noticed that he is actually barefoot in this video as well, is what the father says. I've tried to kind of look at it. I haven't spent a lot of time kind of like zooming in and running some different filters. I just haven't had time. We're working on a bunch of different cases. But according to the father, he was not wearing any shoes in that video. He was barefoot there. Because when he goes missing, he's literally wearing what you just saw. I think the teal shirt, the white, was it teal shirt? Oh, no, that's this guy. Teal pants and the white shirt. No wallet, no keys. And then, of course, he had his phone, but the phone is missing. So, really, really strange. So I'm going to continue and get to chat real quick here. Black Widow, good to see you. I forbid you all to date unsafely. Yeah, please be careful. Connie, good to see you. Thank you so much for the $10 super sticker. That is so awesome. Oh, getting a little ahead of myself. I really appreciate that, Connie. Thank you so much for the support. Again, that will go to our trip, which is coming up in less than a week now. So then we have that ring video we just watched. And then this video that I have, I don't know if this is the same video that he sends to his sister or if it's just a photo. But they also knew that he was barefoot. One of the reasons, because they asked him this, like, how were they sure he was barefoot? And the father explains, well, one, in the ring cam footage, what we just saw, he was barefoot. Then apparently, Snapchat that he sends to his sister at 2:44, where he's taking the dog for a walk. Apparently, you can see like his feet because he's kind of panned down. And I don't know if it's this video or not, because obviously they just, now kind of thinking about it, if they had just got the dog, this may be the video, and maybe it's trimmed where we can't see the toes. Then this is the anomaly where his at 2:58. Now his two friends, one left, the other one goes to bed. That was also at 2:20. I forgot to mention that. So after that Ring camera at 1 or 12:56, 2:20 orders Uber Eats, and the one roommate supposedly goes to bed. The other one leaves. And so then when he takes the dog for a walk, that's why he's by himself, because one's gone and the other one's in bed now. And then at 2:58, his phone supposedly either dies or is turned off. And then the Snapchat to a friend, where it shows this bridge, and we're going to look at this here in just a second, where a person walks to the bridge. It's not really a big bridge, and there's been a lot of people that have like tried to run a bunch of filters and claim they see people down in here or see somebody in. You can't, in my opinion, there's nothing. I mean, there may be something in this photo, but keep in mind this photo that we got, what we're looking at, for those that don't know, is he sent a Snapchat to a buddy. Was it Colorado, I think? Either way, he sends this to his buddy, but his buddy didn't get it that night. His buddy was already in bed. His buddy didn't actually get it until like a day or two later, until he heard that he was missing, and opened up his Snapchat, because once you look at a Snapchat, then it'll delete. So he knew that he was missing. So when he saw this, he took another phone and screenshotted it. So that's why it's, of course it's foggy, but that's why the quality's not that great, because it's a photo of a photo. So the image is not the best. But that's taken right here, and we got video of a local showing what that looks like in person. I'll play that video here in a second. Here's Google Earth. I'm just going to get caught up in chat here for a second. SJ Howard, thank you so much for renewing your membership. Really appreciate that. That really helps out the channel and our future endeavors. Let me move that over just a bit. So here's a video. You can see just kind of a ditch. It's not deep, like a foot deep. I forget what the cop said, or the assistant chief, was it? But it's clearly it's not deep enough to somebody to drown in or get carried away, at least at that time anyway. Make says he's got the best smile. Yeah. Oh, I feel bad. And I feel bad for his dad. I mean, of course, his whole family. I can't imagine what they're going through. Okay, where? Oh, there you are. Maddie's mom. I saw you earlier. Good to see you, Maddie's mom. Thank you so much for gifting a Mob Crew membership. That is so sweet. Thank you so much. And hey, it's Jay. Good to see you. That's awesome. She got gifted the membership. She helped me out a lot with the other case, Riley Strain. So originally, the last really major timeline, 3/12, is when there was a ping from the phone. And he's going to talk about it. He gets asked about this again in a recent interview. And they kind of talk about how this is what they call almost like a phantom ping, that they, asked the phone service, and it tried to, get the last ping from his phone. And the time frame is a little odd because it's 3/12, yet the phone was dead at 2:58. But it pinged within kind of the radius, a mile radius or less. But yeah, they're still trying to figure that out. And then the last thing would be the Uber Eats delivered at 3:20. But clearly, he never got his food. Now, his dad goes on to say in this interview he believes that he was going out there to just basically get the food.
First of all, take a listen to Ray.
And we'll play that interview because I think it's interesting. It adds a little bit more to what he believes. And the parents going to have, next to law enforcement, going to have the most details. And that's what I was kind of thinking. Because when I ordered DoorDash, a lot of times I'd be out just there. I knew that they were going to be on their way. And you could see on your phone when they were getting close. And I would just go out, and even though, they'll drop it right to the door, I always just try to be polite, and I always just walk right up kind of close to the door. I wait for them to get out, and they hand it to me, just to kind of save maybe if it's 20 seconds, because, they make money by doing deliveries quicker. So, ordered food before 2:58. Yeah, he ordered at 2:20. That was something that originally we didn't have that. I think they said 2:40 originally, but now it's 2:20.
Rachel Bonilla.
When Caleb Harris's roommates begin their day, they open the front door to find the Uber Eats food Caleb had ordered still at the door. The roommates started looking for Harris. At 11 a.m., the roommates file a missing person report with police and notify Texas
we're going to talk about that,
Corpis
Sybil.
Christi campus security as well that Harris is missing. At 3 p.m., parents Randy and Becky Harris are told their son is missing. Randy Harris headed straight for Corpus Christi.
Okay, so this is the video. I don't know if I'm sure those that have been following this case from day one may have seen this video already, but I haven't shown it on this channel, as it's been out for a couple weeks. But apparently this video was taken that same night. It's not a specific time frame. He says between 3:17 and 4 a.m. So that's still right in there, and you can tell it's from that night because it's foggy. He says it's between Ennis Jocelyn and what's that other road? Let's pull up Google Earth real quick, and then we'll play the video. If you haven't seen this, it's very interesting. Let's just pull this up here. So this guy put on the Facebook group here. So here's Ennis Jocelyn Road. Here's the Corpus Christi cottages of Corpus Christi, his apartments. For anyone that's wondering which one it was his, it looks like it was one of these two going off that video, because it's either one of these two, they kind of come out and then they walk. If you're going to talk about the video, come out, they walk, and then the door cam or ring cam is right here, and they're kind of walking to the cars and then walking back. So as you can see, it's pretty close to the entrance here. And anyway, there was a guy he said, we'll look at it here. He said between Ennis and Paul Jones Ave, and he was on what's called SPID, which is, I don't know if that's South Padre Island. Is that Padre? SPI Drive here. And so I think I found the spot that closely matches up. And that's not far from his location. So let's look at this real quick. Josh DePage, good to see you. Been a mobster crew for over a year. Joined Patreon. Thank you so much, Josh. I'm going to be trying to put some stuff out Patreon tonight. If not, it'll be tomorrow. I've been trying to do that weekly. Thank you so much, Josh, for the 16 months. That's so awesome. So here is this video here. I guess I should have just left this playing. I guess I knew what I was going to do already. Again, there's just me showing on the video. And you can tell that you can kind of see the pool in the entrance, so that way you can kind of tell that that's where his location's at. But there's the bridge. He takes that little Snapchat photo, and then we have, and I'm assuming this may be from the fog, there was an accident, which is so interesting because I remember, and this is on the rumor speculation side, so I'm going to pause this so I can read this for you. But I remember reading in the Facebook group, and like I said, this is clearly on the speculation side, that one of them supposedly thought that he had heard an accident and may have went to go investigate it, because they know that he's, a nice guy, and would, his father's talked about him and said, that he would help anybody. He's just that kind of person. And it's so interesting. I remember hearing that when first looking into this case and seeing that. And like I said, that's just for now rumor about a supposed accident happening. And then here's this video that's posted a few weeks later. And this guy says it's on that night, the same night that he went missing. It's, like 10 minutes away if he walked. It's not far. And here, so he says, I couldn't share this as a reply, but AJ Gomez shared this video taken between 3:17 a.m. and 4 a.m. So that's right around the time he went missing, the night Caleb disappeared. He says Abe's towing is who the police used, and three vehicles were involved. So it sounds like there was an accident on SPID, that highway that's like right there. And it occurred close to Ennis Jocelyn and Paul Jones Avenue on SPID, if you can see that. Okay. And so, again, we'll just pull up Google Map one more time, and then I'll play the video. But again, that's his apartment. That's Ennis Jocelyn. This is Paul Jones right here. So it would happen between these 2 points. And I'm pretty sure I found the point, which is about right here. And look how close it is. And the accident happened somewhere here, from what I understand. So here's the video. And on the right is me kind of showing the location, and on the left is the video. Now it's in portrait mode, fortunately. It goes by pretty fast. It's a short video, and I'll move it to the center and play the audio from it. But it sounds like this guy he hit the debris from the other 2 cars or something, or 2 or 3 cars. He had hit the debris from whatever the accident, and he actually had to do like a U-turn and come around and then pulled over because, clearly he was involved in this whatever. And so he took kind of a short video of his vehicle. It's hard to tell what happened to his vehicle, but here's the actual video with audio.
Too damn foggy to be driving and shit, bro. It is.
It's too foggy to be driving.
I don't know what the hell they did, bro, but they did something. I don't know what the hell they did, bro, but they did something. I can't even see that shit. Too damn foggy to be driving and shit, bro. It is. I don't know what the hell they did, bro, but they did something.
Tracking people, fugitives or otherwise. So it makes all.
So now we'll move to the interview with the father and Jennifer, where he'll kind of expand on the details and what the father thinks. Now remember, she had just shared the details at the beginning about there's new developments, but they couldn't talk about it. And then this is clipped right after that part. And while that's playing, we'll see some of the video. I slowed it down. I know it's kind of dark. I think I run a filter through it, brightening it up as well sometime further. But so anyway, what you're going to be hearing is interview. And it's very interesting because they talk about there's new developments, possible leads. And during that interview, and I feel really bad, the father kind of breaks down a couple of times. So it does make me wonder what kind of information he was told. Do they think that he was abducted? It's very sad. But just again, I just want to say, it just makes me wonder, did he hear that accident? Because I remember reading that way before this video came out. Somebody just posted it. And that is right there where he went missing. Did he hear this accident? maybe went to go investigate, and then something happened to him. And again, for those that keep mentioning his barefoot, he was barefoot long hours before he went out there for the last time, because he went out there 3 times. One with his friends, one just with his dog, and then the third one where he took the Snapchat and then disappeared. And I don't know, maybe he liked going around barefoot.
The Texas Bureau of Investigation, listen, they're going to want to be at the pulse of what is being done here, because if this
and we'll talk about the Reddit info again here in a bit.
On to them, they're going to be at the pulse from the beginning. But make no mistake, Corpus Christi investigators and their investigative unit, they have the #1 venue in jurisdiction right now. Randy, Tony, did I miss anyone else helping? I'm sure the sheriff's department is helping as well. Did I miss anyone else or anything else in that regard?
Texas Parks and Wildlife have definitely been involved as well.
Thank you. We should. That's good one that I did leave out, and they are important because a lot of the land and grounds that they're looking at are the law.
So here, I think I turned up the brightness a little bit. If we get time, I can solo out the video and try to. But you can see it's super foggy. It to me. This guy posted in the Facebook group. You consider it was the same. It was foggy. To me, it seems legit that this happened on the same night. He says somewhere between 3:17 and 4 a.m., which is just right around that time he went missing. And so anyway, anybody that's just coming in, this is supposedly an accident that happened. Let me just kind of pull up the directions just for anybody that's. Let's do this. That close. 0.4 miles. I mean, that is just around the corner right there. And if we look at it, I believe it's right here. And he kind of pans, and he's parked right here. And he pans, and then there's a tow truck. We see, and he tells in the comments, I'll show it later. He says you can see a guy walking, but he says that's one of the drivers, one of the vehicles that were involved. It's on the tow truck. So the fact that he's taking this video and the car and the tow truck are there, that means the accident, depending on when it happened much closer to the time he went missing. Now kind of thinking about it. It's very interesting, man. And it's so weird because I remember reading that like the first or second week into this, him disappearing and hearing about this supposed accident he may have tried to investigate. And it's so weird seeing that. How close to water was he? There's the ditch we just showed, June. But they said that was pretty much, we just showed a video of it. Not deep. The next biggest thing with water is a little bit further away, but there would be cameras. There's so many cameras. This is the strangest thing because, sorry to get out. Well, it's not off topic, but the craziest thing about this is if you look, if he went this way, right? There. Now keep in mind it was foggy, so it could be an issue. But you go to any intersection around where this guy lives, there's cameras. There's a camera at that intersection. You go to the next intersection down here. I don't know if there's one here. Okay, maybe not here, but there's a lot of cameras at a lot of these intersections. I know there's one over here. So it's pretty wild. This kid just, sadly, just disappeared. And very close to the highway. So it just makes me wonder. I'm so glad you're on this, Chris. Thank you. Hey, Michaela, thank you so much. 25 months. That's awesome. I hope you got your mug. It said it went to your P.O. box. Please let me know in the chat if you did. I hope you did. Criminal Mag, good to see you. Long-time mobster. All right, so I'm going to play the interview.
Enforcement entity over those areas are the wildlife guys, and so it's good that they've been involved. Thank you, Randy.
Jennifer?
Yes, please.
One thing, I've listened to you for years, and you're always incredibly accurate, and that's part of the reason your followers love you so much. We need that timeline We also need to add 258 into that because that's when they show the phone powered down or was shut off.
I like that you brought that up, and I know offline we kind of discussed that because it is contradictory, right? We have 258
Yes.
that it's shut off, but then we have the 312 that there was a shared location. That possibly could be some sort of phantom share. It seems nebulous right now. And in part, I think this could be why the Bureau and Secret Service have been brought in to use the different software capabilities that they have and that they're expert in to dial in on those exact times.
I'll pause it there. Do we know what the text was on the Snapchat? I don't know what was said exactly verbatim. Apparently, it was kind of an inside joke to his buddy, and I think it's his buddy from Colorado. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, because I know he's got a few. He's got quite a few friends. I think it's the one from Colorado, but the one that's the Snapchat of the bridge. It's supposedly something about. I don't even know if I can use this word on YouTube. I'm sure you could. Hitler. It's just an inside joke. I think regarding like Hitler or something like that. I can remember more of it all.
You're absolutely right, and exactly what you said. Those could just be anomalies. They could be delayed. There's really not 100% that. I mean, that's what we got, but we don't really know that 100%.
Okay, so our timeline is possibly a little fuzzy, and I pulled this timeline from what they put out.
Yeah.
What Corpis Christi put out. All right, so good note for all of us to dial back into as the case develops that time may be a little off. All right, question 3. Did they use dogs initially? Yeah.
And this is it's always interesting to hear about the cadaver or bloodhounds, because if there's no really trace or trail, I mean, that's really odd. Now, he does say that it may have been tainted because there was a lot of people there. So it could be that they just couldn't pick up a scent because there was just too many people that contaminated. And I've been when I searched with Dylan Rounds, I know when they would bring the scent dogs in, they did not want any of us around them and where they were going, because it could, obviously throw off what they're trying to do. So they may have sadly lost a potential lead there. Not intentionally, of course.
Yes, that's just a hard, fast yes. I saw photos of those dogs. I know they used the dogs. Any elaboration there, Tony or Randy?
I can't think of anything. I mean, they used cadaver dogs as well as bloodhounds.
Right, the scent dogs. Do you know what they used from Caleb to give to the dogs for the scent?
We went into his apartment, and there was still a lot of clothes like jackets, hats, shoes, things like that. So mostly they got off of his hats and shoes and things like that. So they had pretty good resources for doing that.
And did the scent dogs track anywhere beyond the threshold or beyond the bridge or any place that was unknown?
Yes, they did. Based on the anomaly of the after 3 a.m. pings or whatever they were, they did go to another location, and which is within a square of what we've all been looking at from a ground search capability, and they worked quite a few of those fields as well with two of the best dogs you can get out of Beeville Correctional Institute with the warden.
That's great, and I wanted to mention them too and give them credit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's such a huge network of law enforcement that all have different capabilities. And
let me know how the volume, if it's okay for you guys. I can turn it up just a little bit more if it's not loud enough. But yeah, they talk about the dogs for a little bit here, and then the father will kind of start talking about the timeline and his behaviors. And I think he kind of clarifies. I mean, if anybody knows Caleb. It would be his father. And he says the barefoot thing and stuff, he's pretty sure he was barefoot, and that he believes the reason he went out there, I know some people are thinking, why did he go out there for the third time if he wasn't with the dog? He says that he believes that he was just waiting for the Uber Eats. Now, I know we got the new supposed Reddit dating app stuff. We will talk about that here in a little bit. It is kind of interesting. There was this account that believed it could be, we don't know for sure. It's possible it could be his Reddit account. And we will talk about that, about him posting around 2:15 a.m. And now, I didn't say he was meeting for men. It just said M4A, which is it M4A? Or L4A, looking for anyone, which is male or female. But again, we don't know if that's his account. This is a little more on, we know that there was this post by a Redditor that's from Corpis Christi. We just don't know. Keep in mind, this is a college, area. So it's good chance it could be any one of these kids or somebody else. But it's still possible it could be him. Hey, it's Jay. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see the new drone in action. That's awesome. I think we're all excited about it. Thank you so much, HJ. Yeah. Again, what do we got? 900 people in here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you can, please hit that like button. We were going out a week from today, actually a week from yesterday. We're going to be out Saturday and Sunday next weekend searching for Aiden Clune. We got a new drone, but any donations, PayPal, Venmo, would go towards his search. We raise the funds for the drone, but I could put a little money into the car because I think we're going to be using my car in some capacity going up there.
And those scent hounds are amazing. Their tracking skills, obvious reasons that they would be attached to a correctional facility. It's very interesting. Did they actually denote hits, or were they a little bit iffy hits?
They didn't get anything. We were delayed a little bit in getting the bloodhounds in, and so quite honestly, it was a very active scene, and with a lot of kids coming in and out, myself, it was kind of a Grand Central Station. So as wonderful as they are, it was probably tainted by the time we did get the bloodhounds in, and they just weren't able to pick up anything.
Yeah, and it's so difficult. I always tell people that dogs are amazing, no matter whether you're talking cadaver dog or a scent dog or a dog to help apprehend somebody. They are amazing. Drug dogs, bomb dogs.
Little inside information. This lady was trying to kind of help give an idea of what it's like walking to that bridge and back. And she's filming, and this guy scared the living S out of her. Poor thing. He was polite. He said something as he was passing her, but it definitely startled her. I think it's interesting. There is a bus stop there close to that bridge, if you guys noticed that. When I lived in Ohio, there was an incident. It wasn't as late as 3 a.m., but I think it happened, I don't know, sometime between 10 p.m. and midnight or something like that. I'm not sure exactly when the buses stopped. But there was a group that were going to bus stops and shooting them up, and they actually harmed people that were waiting for the bus or just hanging out by the bus stops. And I don't think anybody was killed, but there was many that were injured. And it's just people, just terrible people. And it was crazy because the next day, when I walked or drove past those bus stops, each one that was it went for blocks. And they were all shot up, had all these bullet holes in them and stuff. And it was pretty scary to see that.
I have so much respect, but they're like people. They get tired. they work better under different, a set of conditions than other sets of conditions. Certainly scents can be muddled, and it is a shame, I will say, quite frankly, that they were brought in late, and that that scene was, I don't know if I want to use the word contaminated, but rather that it was less able for a dog to collect a scent by the time the dogs got out there.
We'll talk about it,
Search
Tiffany,
as
here in
well.
just a bit.
Like you said, they were in their wetsuits walking the creek lines. There's not really any water in it at that time. We've had a couple of rains, but so those were all of the drainage areas that drain into Oso Bay were droned first by the CCPD drones, and then physically walked by the search and rescue, CCPD search and rescue.
So I'm going to pause it there because that's interesting you mentioned that. So maybe this would be a good time to mention the Reddit, and then we'll get back into this because he, like I said, he goes into detail more than he has before that I've seen anyway. But yeah, let's talk about the Reddit for just a minute. For anybody who doesn't know, there's not a lot to it. The screenshots I got, I don't know what I did with them. But so here it says our Reddit, Corpis Christi, NSFW, which from what I understand is something about not for work. So here it says OSO Bay Hiking Trail. Notice they just talked about the Oso Bay. And then over down at the bottom, you can see it says M4A. So I'm assuming that's looking for anyone, male or female. And then if you go over to the account or when this was posted, it was posted on the night he went missing. Now I think it says 12:15 Central Time or something like this. 12:15. But he equates to 2:15 a.m. So that's about an hour before a little less than an hour before he went missing. And if you're wondering where that is located at, let's punch this in real quick here. Is it that one? So here is the Oso Bay Wetlands Preserve. Now that's what they were just talking about, that they had done some flying their drones. This looks like a pretty big area, even though when you zoom out it doesn't look that big, but I'm sure that is a big area. A drone would do pretty good because it's not all condensed, but some of these more condensed areas would be kind of hard for a drone. But more of these outer areas would be perfect. But anyway, it sounds like they had flown drones. But apparently that's with the regarding the Reddit post, the Reddit dating thing. This was posted, and they believe, I don't know if it's been confirmed, that it could be his account, which is this Outside Physics 1635, which again, I don't know if it's been confirmed if that's his account or not, but if anybody in chat knows, let me know. I don't use Cash App anymore. Cash App's been weird. Yeah, sorry, Susan. Just Venmo and PayPal. I may try doing a Cash App. I don't know. Cash App has been weird with me. All right, continuing with the interview here.
Law enforcement supplemented by students and by volunteers who care and are going to really work hard as well.
Yeah, it's there, Michaela.
Leadership at home or when you're by yourself. Thinking of him, what those must be like. And my hat's off to you for your strength and the strength of your wife And
Yeah, let me skip this part a little bit.
Let's see. All right, so I want to talk about these Snapchats a little bit. You okay, Randy?
Yeah.
See, he starts. Oh, and I feel bad for him because a lot of interviews he's been pretty good, but he really breaks up at least 2 or 3 times in this interview. I think it's like an hour, a little bit more, hour 20 minutes, and for the most part, he's done pretty good with a lot of the interviews. I can't imagine, what that'd be like for a father, a parent. But with them opening up that they had these new possible leads 2 days ago, I don't know if it regards to this Reddit stuff or not. But yeah, he really breaks down, multiple times, and that could just be, not related to anything, but it is interesting.
And you and I had offline, Tony, Randy, and I had talked offline about these snaps because my question was, with Snapchats and with communications as a whole, right? Sometimes you text and everybody's asleep and you just want them to see it the next day, or it's nothing really important, or you're passing time, and even, people silence their phones so you don't have to worry about disturbing. And I just wanted to make it clear that was basically this situation. It seemed more like a time passing. This wasn't, snapping back and forth. His sister didn't even receive it till the next day. His friend not till a couple days later. So this was something he was doing likely to just communicate and pass the time as he was waiting. We kind of came to that agreement. Does that sum that up, Randy and Tony?
Yeah, I think so. He's waiting on his Uber Eats. He's an outdoor kid. And just put the dog away and or snap the dog to my daughter, and then puts the dog away and goes.
There was 3 Snapchats, or at least 2 Snapchats. Was there 2 or 3? Yeah, one to his sister and then one to his friend. The sister was the dog. The friend was the bridge.
Goes outside, and we're gonna assume that he's just waiting for his order and getting out. It's a foggy night, but it's still kind of cool. And fog rolls in. It's kind of neat to see.
Hey, if I can wait inside versus outside, I'm outside all day.
So here his father, at least to his father, he believes the reason he was going out there was waiting for the Uber Eats, which I originally, that, like I said, because I've done that many times, just because, like I said, I know they're on, they're making money the faster they complete orders. So I do as little much as I can to help them out. And the only thing I would say that would kind of conflict with the Reddit thing is 2:15, this post about looking for anyone, and Oso Bay, is at 2:20 you order Uber Eats. So if you're going to meet somebody, why would you order Uber Eats 5 minutes later? Not saying, I don't know, maybe he just thought, well, that will just sit there and he can get that later. But this is Texas, so, it's Lunchables. I'm trying to think what he ordered. It was, Lunchables and some kind of energy drink. So, that wouldn't go bad. I guess the Lunchables, I guess it'd be fine sitting out there overnight and stuff. Yeah, it could be he was waiting for somebody.
Anything. I'm outdoors, and it sounds to me like that is exactly what your son Caleb was like. He loved it outdoors.
Absolutely.
Okay. Why do we know? We know he was barefoot. Why do we know he was barefoot?
The 1 o'clock or 12:58, whatever it is, video shows him as being barefoot. And then the snap to my daughter also, there's a little bit of an area there where you can definitely see his toes.
So I'm assuming this has got to be it, because if they got that dog that night, this video could be the one to his sister, where unfortunately we don't see it. I don't know if it's just kind of it might have been cut off. But I'm assuming this is the video he's talking about, and you can see his feet, and they're barefoot.
So we're confident that he was barefoot. You can't be 100%, but when I go back and look at his shoes, he wears a size 13, so he's kind of unique.
Yeah,
there.
energy drink and Lunchables, I think.
Counted for all his shoes. I mean, we know Birkenstocks are in the truck. There's a Birkenstock here. He's got 2 hookahs. He's got shoes that he wears fishing. His waders. Everything's in the apartment. Wallet, keys, truck's locked. The only thing we're missing is his phone.
Right. So some people just ask, how did we know that? So thank you for summarizing the knowledge there. So a good question that came in was, there was a request, quote unquote, by the family to expand the search area. And we talked a little bit offline about that, but would it be, can I suffice it to say, and feel free to expand if you would like or not, suffice it to say that in case there's other sightings that could have occurred, you wanted to make sure that the area was expanded to include places where possible sightings could occur, did occur, may occur. Does that pretty much sum up why you all just wanted that area expanded a little?
Yeah, absolutely. We don't know where he is, and
so that's kind of interesting. I don't know if that relates to this, new possible leads that they have learned, and so that's why they want to kind of expand. Maybe one of the leads is they've got some kind of surveillance. I would think, if anything, it's going to be surveillance related. There are so many cameras. It'd be interesting to do a map. Maybe if I get time, I'll create a map and just go down Google Earth and show there. I mean, there's so many cameras, and these are just the traffic, cameras. This isn't even counting, all the neighborhoods and houses that could have potential ring cams or whatever. So I think it could be possible. Maybe one of the leads or eventual leads would be surveillance. Although the bad thing is that night it was super foggy. So potential cars that would be driving by a neighborhood that could be related may not be able to tell much, if anything. So I feel so bad because that's terrible circumstances. Glitter Forever, I feel bad for them. They have almost no help. They mentioned the teams that have been involved. I mean, of course, I'm sure a lot of families never feel like they have enough. It sounds like there's a good amount. I'm sure they could always use more, of course. And if anybody's out there, they've got a couple of Facebook posts or Facebook group pages I'm sure you could get a hold of, and if you want to be involved in the search, I'm sure they could always use more. If I was out there, I would love to go out there, but unfortunately, I'm a little bit further away, and I've got my other endeavors going. There's a lot of missing people, unfortunately.
And if he was taken, then we hope he's here still, but we're not. We don't know that, and so I think it's critical that. Even today, we have teams out, San Antonio, Austin, New Braunfels, of course, all this area here, Ground Zero, all the way out, just flooding anybody and everybody that will listen and, going through a drive-through, grab a brochure and hand it to them, and asking for that support and post those the reward flyers, just all over. I mean,
apple pie.
If he was taken, we don't know that he's still here. So he could easily be in another state. And so we've reached out to a lot of corporate businesses as well that we're hoping will come online and allow their franchises to post pictures of Caleb.
I mean, the bottom line is, and I'm only going to digress to this for a very specific point. I've done it before. But for the Bethunes, Gabby Petito likely wouldn't be found. And but for social media and the picture of that van being broadcast, Lima Charlie, throughout social media and mainstream media, the Bethunes likely wouldn't have even seen it and knew there was any relevance to go back and look at their video footage. And there are so many people who aren't newsies and aren't true crime that have never heard of Caleb. They never heard of Riley. They never have heard of Sebastian. They haven't even heard of Gabby Petito. And that even now. And that's why it is so critical that his face.
In New Braunfels, right on I-35, I-37. Anything we can do to get his picture out there and of course get the reward out there as well.
And I just, as a side note, I just want to say, and Randy, you mentioned it early on, you've been out there searching from the get-go. This is your son. There's nothing more important right now. To me, just to see that heartfelt sacrifice and all the other people that are willing to get out there, we just need to proliferate this story so it can touch the right people.
Yes, because he was playing a video game with.
Okay, so here's a little bit of backstory before he went missing that at least I hadn't heard until now. I think that's been shared for a little bit, but so this is just before like the dash or the camera with them with the dogs. I thought it was kind of interesting. It's always good to know as much of the timeline as you can. Angela A., good to see you. He may have been looking for the Uber because he thought it was taking too long. It was so foggy. Yes. He may have thought Uber was lost. I keep thinking the fog may have caused someone not to see him, hit and hide. I think so. I mean, that's one of the possibilities. Yes, the Reddit thing, I think we still need a little bit more time to figure out, will the parents come out and or the law enforcement confirm or deny this Reddit lead. It is definitely interesting. But yeah, like I said, just from my experience, his house or his apartment is not far from the entrance. And yeah, because it was super foggy, he's just kind of waiting. And again, going not to discredit the Reddit, just looking at all different possibilities. If he's going to be meeting somebody, would he be going out there barefoot? I mean, if he was waiting for a potential ride or something, you would think he would have, some shoes, maybe his wallet. To me, it just seems like he was just going out there to meet up with the Uber driver. And then, like I said, with that accident, if you missed it earlier, I'll play it again. There was an accident, and I remember reading about this, second week into this, that someone believed that he had heard an accident. This is rumor, but there is video of an accident that happened that night, and that Caleb went to possibly go investigate. And then maybe something nefarious happened right in that time frame. But
one of his friends in Colorado.
It's wild.
And instead of, they really don't like doing the whole chat thing on video games, so they would normally just use their phones, put them on speaker or whatever, and play video games. So he was, as I was tracking his phone the next day, I noticed the number. Okay, I'm going to call it, or I punched it in my phone and realized it was his buddy out of that he grew up with, out of Colorado, and it was in my phone, so I knew exactly who it was. And he was playing a video game for about 71 minutes. And then, so if you look at that timeline, that was probably, they quit playing when the dog got there.
Right. And that makes a lot of sense. So, in other words, their night was a little bit more delayed, and
Yes.
it was more festive on a Sunday night than it likely normally would have been because of the dog. And then that caused the Uber Eats to be ordered late. And so everything ended up being late. So just for our audience, it wasn't that, this 3 a.m. was normal. And it does make it quite unique, and hopefully will help law enforcement from the standpoint is very few people are out and about between 3, 4 in the morning on a Sunday night going in.
Yeah, keep in mind it's a Sunday night, and he's got school at what? Gosh, I know I've heard the time. I want to say like 10 a.m. If somebody can correct me in chat, what time his class started that Monday. It wasn't super early, but it was, it was clear for 3 a.m. I don't know, would you be looking for a date at 3 a.m. in the morning when you know you've got, class? I think it was like around 10 a.m. He may talk about it here in a minute. Like I said, it's not trying to discount the Reddit, just, looking at all different angles. Mandy, good to see you. I know you've been with me a long time. Thanks for your integrity, Chris from South Africa. That's so awesome. I appreciate it, Mandy. Again, if you guys just coming in, please, if you could, if you haven't already, hit that like button. Helps get his name out there. At the beginning of videos, I always feature other missing persons, which are usually not as high profile as the ones that we're talking about. And I do that so we can get those, what we call like the little guys. It's just kind of how, social media goes. There's way too many missing people for everybody to cover all the cases.
Monday for obvious reasons. So
you did have later classes on Monday. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, a little bit later classes. I think they're like 10:30 or 11.
Yeah, 10:30. Okay, 10:30.
Monday mornings sometimes are it's a little bit of a sleep-in day. During duck season, a lot of times they're in bed by. I've caught them in bed by 7:30 or 8 because they are getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock to go duck hunting. So that was real normal, and he normally be the first one in bed because he's going to be up and rustling around, getting everything ready.
Yeah,
to go,
for the most part, he is
duck hunting. Yeah. So, and they would get up early. So during duck season, they're in bed pretty early.
Yeah, and also, let's face it, in college, was there ever really a bedtime?
So I just want to pause this for anybody that missed it and came in and doesn't know the context of this video. From what I understand, this is taken. I'm just going to pull up Google Earth here because I know people kind of roll in late. And then we'll go back to that. But this video is taken. Gosh, did it do it? Yeah, it's close enough. So he's last seen kind of right by this bridge here. Now his apartment is, I think it's one of these two buildings here. So he's like right there by the entrance. So for him to kind of just walk, that's why it does to me, like the barefoot thing is not, he was already barefoot seen at least two times before that. So it sounds to me like somebody that's walking barefoot didn't have any plans to go anywhere that night. That's just me. But anyway, this guy, sometime around the time he went missing, he says between 3:17 a.m. and 4, said that he was on the SPID, which is the Padre Island Drive here, between Ennis and Paul Jones. So there's Paul Jones, there's Ennis. So, between these 2 points, I believe it's kind of about right here. And there was an accident involving, from what he said, 3 cars. So, now we don't know how bad it was. But clearly, one car's towed away at the very least, so it must have been fairly bad. But that's not far, and with a wreck happening around right there, and it's possible that happened just before or around the time he went missing. Did he hear that as he's sending a Snapchat, maybe waiting for his Uber Eats, and then went to go investigate, and then something happened? Maybe somebody coming down the road snatched him up. There's cameras right here, so whatever happened, it just seems, unless he cut through here. I guess if he could just cut through here, although he would be barefoot, but he is just a student. Maybe he cut through here. Who knows? I mean, it's so bizarre. But anyway, this is footage. It's very short. It's in portrait mode. You can't see much, but there's the car up on the tow truck there. And you'll see kind of a guy walking. That's supposedly the driver.
I mean, depending on when something was going on or something.
But you can tell it's from that night because it's super foggy. There's the driver right there.
Was happening. Who wasn't up and about?
School, and so he just doesn't have. He's not working or anything like that. He did work at a movie theater last year, and that's always been brought up. Gosh, these kids are out till 2 or 3 in the morning. Well, working at a movie theater, yeah, he would get home at we were texting back and forth about different fishing lures that he was going to be using after school, the next day with his buddies, getting in the kayaks and going.
Oh, yeah. So he was going to go.
And what song was he? What kind of music? Is he bluegrass? Is he rock and roll? Is he?
He's a pretty good mix, but he really likes kind of the Texas, not alternative, nothing crazy, more just Central Texas.
But he later took a different stage name. Who did he?
Did I get you back now?
Yep.
Yeah. Who did Peter Chris become?
Yeah.
I skipped this here in
went
a
off on his
second.
own when they
An operation or whatever it might be.
Trout and reds.
So this is the details that this AJ had posted about this wreck. So he said it was a truck and some other SUV type of vehicle. I had hit. So it was a truck and SUV. It sounds like he said 3 vehicles. Maybe he's one of them. But it was a truck and SUV type vehicle. I had hit the debris from the wreck while taking an order. That's interesting. I wonder if he was taking an order. I wonder what he was taking an order for. Maybe he's a driver too. Do you remember what color the truck was? I want to say black. It all kind of happened fast. Could have been gray. He's not sure the color. SUV, gray or tan. You could see one of the vehicles in the original video. I think someone mentioned a blue truck earlier in the post, but I can't find it. It could have been. Let's see. It could be, but I'm not sure. I don't want to provide false info. He just says it was a darker color, and he said it was kind of hard to see because of the fog. So it sounds like this wreck was due to the fog.
And is this this fishing skill and love? Did he learn this from you?
I'd like to think so. Yeah. You'll see pictures of us fishing.
And so, unfortunately, some of the gumshoe investigative work, I call it, gets postponed, and unfortunately, college-age students are such a target.
Fishing for sure. That's what they would normally hunt, and those are hunting fish. You actually go out and you relationship between mom and sister and grandparents, and just that we could tell a million stories. Just from snow skiing to just anything. He loved to camp, go out and go camping, especially with his uncle. Our family always takes time to do special things for our kids, to try.
Okay, so I think I skipped forward a little bit. I think there's a little bit more. Okay, so I already read this. I think I paused that just so I could read this, but I already kind of read it.
Expand what they like. I take.
As promised. This is a case that, from the very beginning.
So I see someone, why take dog home? So they took the dog out at 1 a.m. Then he took the dog out at 2:44. So it was actually 12:56. So it was almost 2 hours later he takes the dog out again, and that was 2:44. And then about 16 minutes later or 15, somewhere around in there, then he goes out again for a third time. So maybe the reason why he didn't take the dog out again is because he just took it out at 2:44. And then he's just or again, it's possible that he took the dog home and this the Reddit thing is that is his account, and he was looking for somebody. I don't know. It just seems the timing's a little off, considering he's got to go to school the next day, and he's got an Uber Eats order on the way as well. But still, that's certainly a possibility. All right, we got a couple more things to go over here. There's a little bit more left of the interview. Mandy. Oh, oops, already got that. That's weird. Oh, there we go. That's the one I was looking for. Barbara Hall, becoming a new member, supporting the channel. Thank you so much, Barbara Hall. Just me, JB. But Chris, what if he was struck by one of those vehicles in the accidents? I mean, foggy as it was, maybe they didn't see him until they hit him. I'd be honest, just me. I think it's possible, but the one thing they said is there was no debris around where he went missing. Now I guess that depends how much did they look on that road? Did they just look by that bridge? Did they look further, in other areas down the NS Jocelyn Road or SIPD? I'm assuming they had canvassed at least a good bit. But from what I understand, there's no debris. You would think if you got hit that there would be some kind of debris. I mean, it doesn't mean there would be, but I still think, a car was involved. And I don't know, it's foul play in some sort.
Stances. I'm going to quickly go ahead and talk about the timeline, but first, I want to introduce my very, very special guest, and that is Caleb's father, Randy, and their dear family friend, Tony, and just thank them for being here. Timeline. I want to talk just about very particular times because we can get caught up in the minutia of everything that happened that day, but let's drill down on the times that we have ironclad, at least from law enforcement at this point. Number one, we know that at 12:56, Caleb and his friends were playing with their new little dog, Jenny, that they had just adopted. Okay? Then the next time we have ironclad, 2:20, one of the roommates went to bed. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it just one that went to bed and one left?
Correct.
Okay, correct.
One went to bed, one left, and also 2:20 is when he ordered the Uber Eats.
2:44, we have a Snapchat, and that is with Caleb's sister. At 3:03, we have another Snapchat. That's with Caleb's friend that lived out of state. At 3:12, we have the shared location stopped. That's the last, according to police, that's the last time it sort of the phone tried to share a location. And then at 3:20, we have Uber Eats dropping off the order that Caleb had placed for some items to eat and drink. All right, at 11 a.m.
Sorry,
was
guys.
the first time it was noticed by the roommate that indeed Caleb was gone because he saw the Uber Eats on the back porch steps. So
that's interesting. She said back porch step. I don't know if maybe she just said that by accident. Have you guys ever heard that before?
Indeed, Caleb was gone because he saw the Uber Eats on the back porch steps.
Back porch steps. Interesting. Back porch steps. Yeah, they do have a front and a back. Which would mean she would have pulled in, assuming what she's saying is true, she would have pulled in and then dropped off back here. I don't know. And it could be wrong. Maybe she just said that.
So these are the critical times that we're
I heard front porch. That's why I'm like,
So I want to break right into now the particular questions you all had because you sleuths and you true crimers asked such great questions, and we're going to dial down. First of all, number one question that was asked, are there any new leads? There are. There is new information, and it was shared confidentially between law enforcement and Randy and Tony, and that's where it has to stay. It has to stay there because there's nothing more important than the sanctity of the investigation and the hope that Caleb is found.
Well, that's interesting. So it's obviously information that right now the public or law enforcement doesn't deem that the public can help, and something that they want to keep close to the vest. That is interesting. And for anybody that missed that earlier, that was taken. That interview was 2 days ago with the father. And then we've got this Reddit thing going on, and I'll just recap that Reddit one last time, and then we just got one last little bit to go over, and then we're about done here. But anyone missed it? Let me just type it in. That'll be quicker. There we go. So one last time. This is a post by the. I'll show the other thing, but this is a post that they believe could be from Caleb's Reddit account. It's a Reddit dating app site. I've never heard of Reddit dating. It says OSO Bay Hiking Trail, which happens to be right not far. It's actually about 41-minute walk this way here, somewhere around in here. And it says M4A, from what I understand, that is man looking for anyone, or male looking for anyone. So a male looking for male or female. And when you hover over the post just happened to be on the night that he disappeared. It was posted at, trying to think at the time that it had on there, Central Time. I want to say like 12 something. But the local time would have been 2:12 or 2:15. But again, I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on and see if the family can confirm that's his account or not. This is the account Outside Physics 1635. I don't know if anybody can find out if the 1635 has any relevance to Caleb. Usually the last 4 digits are, I don't know, Social Security, birth date, or year born, whatever. Favorite car, year. Trying to think of some others. Anybody knows in chat some other ideas, but so yeah, it's definitely interesting, for sure. But there's just some things that just, like, if that was posted at 2:15, he's got school at 10:30 in the morning, and he's barefoot. So I mean, if you're meeting somebody, would you be going out barefoot? And then you order Uber Eats 5 minutes later. Kind of seems odd, but it's not impossible. I don't know Reddit at a dating forum, much less a king. Yeah, I had no idea either. It kind of blew me away when I heard it. I'm like, my ears hearing this right? The front door is the one facing the lawn. His father friend, this in a previous interview, facing the lawn. Let's see. Yeah, because we have video of them at the place. Let's see, where am I at here? Yeah, right there. Right, yeah, this would be the front. This would be the back. Let me see. I'm just looking at chat here. So let me play the rest. There's just a little bit more I think I have of this, and then I'll recap just the video, and a few things, and we'll dip out.
Last moments, Caleb Harris was seen before he seemingly vanished on March 4th around 3 a.m. He's wearing white. He's also wearing a baseball cap there. He's seen here with 2 friends and the dog he was walking outside of his apartment complex. Well, now his family is doubling their reward to $50,000 to try to get information leading to Caleb's safe return home. And joining me now is Caleb's father, Randy Harris. Randy, thank you so much for giving me some of your time. I hate that we're speaking again because it means Caleb still hasn't come home. Late last week, police...
So the only thing about that, Angela, no, I still think it's possible. I think a good possibility involved. That he was forced into a car. Being hit, it's still possible. It was foggy out there. There was an accident. The only thing I will say about somebody else snapping that photo is keep in mind that when he sent that, it was an inside joke. So I don't think that would have been, if it was a photo and nothing no text with it, then, that would be possible. But, yeah, unfortunately, that wouldn't make sense because obviously it was an inside joke to a friend. So this photo had to have been taken by Caleb. And yes, the dog is fine.
More detailed timeline of the time, leading up to his disappearance. Is there anything that stands out to you as his father?
No, not right now. I mean, it's as accurate as we can be at this point. We're hoping for some additional information, in the very, very near future that maybe will change that or it gives us a little bit better direction. But right now, the police are doing their job and a good job, and we just got to go with what they're doing right now.
Absolutely. How much information are investigators able to tell you? I don't know how much they can keep you in the loop when it comes to tips coming in that could possibly lead to finding Caleb.
Well, with the reward, we are getting a lot of tips. Most of them, are more just maybe think they saw him or, how can they help, things like that. We haven't really got any solid tips just yet, but we're with raising the award amount. Hopefully, somebody will, step up and take us up on it. We'd like to see that happen.
Absolutely. And I know right now we don't know what happened to Caleb. Part of this timeline, though, shows that shortly before his communication ended, he had sent a Snapchat photo to one of his high school friends of what police say is a small bridge over a drainage ditch near his apartment. Randy, do you know if investigators have or are taking a closer look around that area?
Absolutely. Even the second day into this, you'll see in those videos you're showing there. I mean, there was a tremendous amount of effort, especially at that location, not only from the authorities, the search and rescue teams, additional search and rescue teams, and the college kids. I mean, that area was hand to hand walking in the creek. The creek wasn't flowing at the time, so it's just a muddy bottom creek and into that little bridge. It's very easy to see into. Very thoroughly, search area up and down that creek line.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it there, and I'll go over just a couple more things, and then we'll get close to finishing up. But I'll recap some stuff in case you missed it. Hope 8 Fear gifted 1 mob crew membership earlier. I'm sorry I missed that. Thank you so much. Again, I just want to mention we've got a search coming up next weekend, Saturday and Sunday for Aiden Clune. Any donations, PayPal, Venmo would go straight to the search that's going on. We got a new drone. I just got to put some money into the car, getting to get two new tires because we're going to be driving up some really rocky, rough terrain. I have an SUV, Toyota RAV4, that can get up. It's got 4-wheel drive, so I'm going to be kind of beating it up, but it's worth it looking for helping for the missing. So I do appreciate all the support. And I think I missed yours, June. I would go out to jog at night because it's so hot in Texas. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I wonder what the temperature was out that night. Probably pretty good. So here's a video. Those that may have missed it earlier. Just play this part. This is what it looked like if you were. So that's the front door of the home of the apartment complex. And it's kind of slow-mo. You'll notice, oops, pans pretty quickly. And you can see the little ring park thing. Let me go back just a little bit. I wanted to pause it as it turned. Goes fast. As you can see, where they got the pool and everything, so that lines up with either this one or this one here. I'll have to count how many they go by, but as you can see, it's got a circle fence around it, so obviously they're turning this way. Okay, so his house is more likely on that right one. And this is at 12:56. The roommate and friend walked out with their dog Jenny. Went literally this direction, stood in front of this little blue apartment. That's the one that's got the blink camera. And this is what it looked like. Them walking the dog. Kind of laughing, having a good time because they just got this dog. Dad says it shows he's barefoot. I've tried to look at it. I don't know. I just haven't spent enough time on this video. But he says you can tell he's barefoot in this video. This is what he was last wearing. And then this is what the bridge looks like, if anybody hasn't seen the footage there. Yeah, I got a good spare. But unfortunately, the last time when I went out searching for Dillon rounds, and I saw somebody ask about Dillon rounds, I'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, I went over what is it, like a 4-inch bolt that's like a size of a pin. That ended up in my tire. It was so long that it was actually, when it was going around, it was hitting my wheel well and probably punching it in more. And, usually if you get like a nail or something, you want to be careful about taking it out. But this thing was, where's my pin? God, I lose my pin so fast. Oh, there it is. This bolt in my tire was like this long and probably a little bit thicker than this pin, and I had to yank it out because it was messing up my wheel well, and I thought it would tear the tire like completely out. Luckily, that tire is still intact, but it still goes flat, or not flat, but it loses a little bit of air from time to time. I got to fill it up, so I've got to change that tire for sure. So obviously, you can't just change one tire. I mean, you could, but I mean, technically, you want to change two, just to kind of keep the balance good. And the other thing is this footage here of the accident that happened right around the time he went missing. I think this, to me, this could be just a strange coincidence. But to me, I think there could be something connected with this accident and Caleb, because it happened really close to his place. I think from that area you would probably hear it. Accident's pretty loud. And did he go try to investigate and then something happened? But here's the actual audio from it. Oh, let me turn it up.
Yes.
Oh.
I don't know what the hell they did, bro, but they did something. I don't know
Poor
what
guy.
the hell they did, bro, but they did something. I can't see that shit.
So he ended up hitting.
Be driving and shit, bro. Yes. I don't know what the hell they did, bro, but they did something.
So he hit the debris from the accident of the other two cars. So I guess he's kind of lucky that nothing else happened. But It is interesting, it's part of the timeline. Whether it's connected or not, we don't know. But again, it was, like I said, I've now repeated this a couple times, but it was so weird. I remember reading this thing on the Facebook group 2 weeks to his disappearance. Just kind of a rumor that they believed he ran out because he heard an accident. And then here we have this video that was posted to the Facebook group of this guy that was in an accident just around the corner from and around the time frame that he went missing. It's so bizarre. So bizarre. Is the accident 1 mile west? The accident, from what I can tell, it was right, because he said between Ennis and sorry, I'm backing it up so I can go back to where we were at. He said the accident was like on the SPID between Paul Jones and Ennis. So between these 2 points, and from what I could tell when I zoom in, it looks like he was parked. So what I think happened is, because I actually did this, so let me show you. So you could see him looking this way with the video, right? So I think what happened is, okay, so we're on the other so the video when he pans over was about right here, but he's sitting kind of right here, and he pans over and we see the tow truck about right here. So I think the accident must happen somewhere around here. Wow, that's a lot of debris. He must have hit the debris from the 2 cars. And so what he did is he got off, because he must have hit the debris from the 2 cars, and they were somewhere around right here with the tow truck. And then what he did is he just took this, and then interestingly enough, there's this, come on, get over there, where you can flip around, and it perfectly lines up with him driving right here. Oops, stay on that side. And he pulled over, it's about right here, and he kind of looks over, and there's the truck. So I think that's what happened, and he just kind of spun around, and then literally, if you go down, oh shoot, that's Amy. Oh, I need to finish. That's Amy, the mother of the missing son that we're gonna go help and looking for. I gotta go here in just a second. So the bridge is right here. So I mean, if an accident happened, it's just like right here. I mean, I think if it happened around the time he went missing, he would have probably heard that. If it was, I mean, that's not far. And the only thing is they didn't see anything on this camera. So maybe he jumped over this way. Who knows? So strange. But anyway, I think we're going to go finish up there. Again, one last thing before we go. Let me just give out his details. Caleb Harris missing March 4th at around 3 a.m. If you have any details... Oh, where is it? There it is. If you have any tips for his case, because I know we've got some locals in here, call 361-886-2840. And sorry, I was going to get to some of the chat, but I really got to take this call because this is going for my search next weekend. That's the mother who I'm helping. So I told her we were going to do a meeting. But anyway, again, we're going out to search for him. Anybody from Utah or Nevada or Idaho around that area that would like to join, it's going to be April 13th, 14th, next weekend. Meeting at these locations, the Shell in Ely, Nevada at 6:30 a.m. I'm going to post this flyer on my page for anybody that may be interested in it. And there's obviously some QRs that you can scan for more details. And again, any support, Venmos, PayPals that you guys send in, that's going to go towards the search. So thank you guys so much. Sensei, if you heard the accident, surely would go towards the noise and call the cops. Yeah, unless his phone died. But yeah, who knows? But again, that 2 days ago, they supposedly got some new leads. I don't know if they've panned out. Do they involve the Reddit thing or something else? I guess we'll hopefully find out more information, and hopefully it's good. But of course, we'll keep you guys up to date. For the members, sorry I didn't do a members only live. I thought I wanted to go live, but thank you guys so much again, taking the time to watch the show. Huge shout out to my wonderful mods who make this an awesome community. Where you can get the accurate flyer I could post from. I would probably go to this Facebook group. Let me go into it real quick. It's called, I'll put the link in here. I'm sure, I know the mods in this one, I know they're attached with some of the family or friends of the family. Let me post that copy. So you could probably go there. Let's see. Link to page. And I'm sure you could probably get what you need there. Nikki. Thank you so much, Born. I wish I could thank everybody and be here all day, but thank you to everybody. Rona, I hope you're doing good. Thank you for sending those photos. And be safe out there, Rona. Good to see you. So I'm going to build out so I can call Amy. And so I'm not going to do an outro because I really got to call her. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Not sure what we're covering, but we'll keep an eye on this case and the other ones we've been focused on. So hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Be safe, and we see you